Okay. One second. Okay. Yes, I have it, and I will press full screen. Actually, how do I do that on? Okay, anyway, I'll share it with you. First of all, here we go. How do I switch it on to?
No, it's
It's here, this button.
down, yeah,
Yeah, perfect.
on the board. Yeah, exactly. So perfect.
Nice.
So at the beginning, when you start, just make sure to ask them to ask the question on the chat, on the Q&A chat.
Yeah.
And Aurélie will be online answering all the questions. And she asked me before to make sure to let you know that you don't have to talk about the admission process, and that people rather go to admission page on the website to get the information and ask directement to the Bureau des Études all the questions about the admission process.
Sure. Okay. Hey, Sebastian.
Salut, Sébastien.
Salut, hello. How are you doing?
So I focus on the contents of the program, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And Sebastian, thanks so much for being here. And
No worries.
you will speak at the end about your experiences in the program.
Sounds
if you
good.
want, you can also bring me into the discussion if you feel comfortable. Whatever. It's mainly. Julie, did you explain it a little bit more, or did you already speak to them?
Yeah, I just told him that you will talk about the program. And hello, Aurélie.
Hello.
Ça va? So yeah, just she's gonna, and the idea, Sebastian, for you is really to talk about the experience as a student, and then what you've been doing after your master. It will be also interesting for them to get the information. What else? I think that if you can try, Marley, to have the presentation done in like 30 minutes, so we can have time for Sebastian, and then if people have questions, it could be interesting, because more than 30 minutes or 45 minutes, it's a little bit more, it's a little bit much for online session.
Oh yeah, no, I will base it on this. It's really not very long. It's
okay.
Yeah. Hey Aurélie, ça va?
Attends, vous m'entendez?
Oui.
Et parce qu'il faut que je programme, j'ai un écran à la maison. En fait, moi, je vais me cacher après.
Ok.
Mais ce que j'ai dit tout à l'heure, or maybe I say it in English.
Comme tu veux.
Did you plan to speak about the admission procedure or just about the Work.Master?
I'll speak about the content, right? And you take care of the admission procedure.
So we did that at the open day. And I think you should just say that if they have questions about the admission, you should just refer them to our website and say that if there is any question, that I will be answering questions via the chat.
Yeah, okay.
I prefer if you don't speak about it, because sometimes the information given them by the programs is not perfectly accurate.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not saying you in particular, but generally. So it's better if you focus just on the contents and on the fun part.
But just maybe give the dates, the deadline, maybe at least.
The deadline, yeah.
Yeah, deadline. What is it?
It's I know it's 7th of March, but for the masters, I think it's 3rd of April.
No, masters.
Yeah, it's 1 second.
The 3rd April.
3rd of April at 5 p.m. Can you insist that they can do the admin part now? And that they should not wait until the last minute to apply.
Okay, yeah. I guess I would keep it then to insisting that don't wait for the last minute to apply. Yeah.
Yeah. But you can also let them know that the admin part can be done now, and they have done all the time to do their portfolio and text.
Anyway, on Thursday, they will all receive an email to the link with the video if they want to see it again, and then information about admission, the process, just the information that are online. So I make a follow-up anyway also.
Yeah.
On Thursday.
Good.
Okay. All right. If we go.
Sebastian, you are an alum of the program?
Yes,
Okay.
I finished last year.
Okay. Good to have you with us.
Thank you. Is this going to be in English or in French?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be in English.
Okay.
Mali, maybe the other thing you can just say is that, as we said this year, as the program is now, we expect people to understand both French and English, but to express themselves, they can express themselves in just one language.
Yeah.
But they are supposed to understand French because there were issues with students this year. Maybe this will change in the future, but we need to think about it.
Can I say you should understand some French or a basic of French?
No, not basic French, because if they should understand enough French to follow classes in French.
Okay.
As of now, that might change in the future, but as of now, the program is like that. So
yeah. So I will keep my little other sentence away about this. Really, it's my last presentation. You know, it's the last day of my contract today.
Is it?
Oh, wow.
It's not on the. Ah, yeah, it's the last day of your contract. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, we can have a little. Yeah, it's funny, yeah. Okay, so yeah. All right.
Have you already done the handover?
We have 2 minutes left.
We're working on it. I will stay as a tutor, and I will help also Clovis and Christophe to do the transition.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice situation, I think, for everyone. Up we go.
So before we go, Julie, you give us
of course. I will tell you we'll be live in like 4, 3, 2, 1. Then I cut my camera and I cut my mic, and I will launch it. And Marley, I suggest that you take like 30 seconds to welcome everybody and wait a little bit for everybody to get online, and then you can start. You will be also co-host of the event, Marley. So if there is, for any reasons, I have problems or stuff, to make sure that it's still going as long as you're talking. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And I hang up at the end, simply.
Yeah. You will see, you will have a end of the meeting button on top right of the screen, and you will, if you push it there, you will be able to stop the session.
How long do you plan the presentation to be, Marley?
I think it's going to be 15 minutes.
So it's not going to last until 8.
No.
Okay.
That's a good timing, because I've noticed that for the previous presentation that after 30 minutes, it's difficult to keep people online. So.
Hello.
And Sebastian, you will speak as well, because it's the first time I attend this kind of presentation. So you will speak after Marley? I
will, yes.
Okay.
We can have a little conversation, and Sebastian will speak, and if I need to fill in,
you can also say a few words in French, since they're supposed to understand French for the program. So if you feel more comfortable, Sebastian, you can also speak in French.
All right, thank you.
So it's 6:30. I'm gonna cut my camera now, and I will launch the live in 10 seconds. So 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. Hello, I will give you all 20-30 seconds to install yourself before we start our presentation. Okay, welcome everyone. Sadly, I can't see your faces, but I've heard there's many of you this evening. I'm very excited to be able to present the Work.Master program. I'm Maribel. I'm the responsible of the program. I've been working in the coordination for a number of years here, and I will take you through some points of the program and its content mainly, the type of projects that we deal with and the approach we have in our pedagogy. Is just to say that this video will be recorded, and I've been informed that on Thursday you will all be receiving an email with a link to the video in case you want to see it again. And then secondly, if you have any questions at all regarding what I will tell you or regarding the admission procedure, I would advise you to put that in the small Q&A text bracket that you see on the screen. And then, of course, secondly, all admission information can be found on the HEAD website. So I will talk about the Work.Master, which is one of the 3 fine arts programs at HEAD. It is a program devoted.
Right, technical issue here.
Okay, great. I had a microphone problem, sorry. So this is a program devoted to the development of artistic practices. The Work.Master isn't bound to any specific medium. It provides a space wherein a network of students, together with a group of continuously changing guest artists, can experiment across different kinds of media, individually or in the form of collaborations and group projects. The artistic work made in the Work.Master often takes on the form of exhibitions, 3-dimensional work, 2-dimensional works, performance, books, print editions, films, radio shows, community events, theater pieces, you name it. In both its individual and collaborative collective elements, experimentation, testing, and discussion form the guide in developing of a highly personal language and questions around what it means to produce art today. The Work.Master is an international and bilingual program taught in both French and English, but this means, just to be clear, you should be able to speak French if you want to be able to fully follow this program. Yeah, but as I'm saying, so the seminars and our lab zone projects, our practical projects, as we call them, lab zone projects, are taught in both English and in French. So also as a French speaker, I would highly advise that you can follow quite some English. So the Work.Master is a project-based MA. Studying in the Work.Master often revolves around exploration, sharing of ideas, dialogue, talking, making mistakes together, to come to new and unexpected solutions in an organic way, not always having to agree with others and exploring beyond the creative boundaries you think that you might have. In respect of your personal artistic practice, the Work.Master aims to stimulate independence, curiosity, and to guide you when you are looking and searching for those things that really interest you as an artist. In the Work.Master, we work with a group of artist teachers and thinkers who are there to encourage exchange, guidance, support, listen, and together promote a space wherein one feels at ease and stimulated to express, to speculate, to be curious, and to exist, to persist, to take courage, and reveal your own needs. This group of artists is made up of a fixed team of teachers and a large number of guest teachers. In this way, the pedagogies and energy that make up the Work.Master are continuously changing and developing. Learning takes place mainly outside of the classroom format. The teacher is there as a guide to develop projects together with students on a horizontal level through constant dialogue between the teacher and all students in the group. Here, the teacher can function as a project coordinator, or their personal artistic practice, experience, research, and artistic network can form the foundation underlying the project's development. Learning from the wealth that is immersed in collective knowledge and experience. We say that together, you know, and you can do so much more. In the Work.Master, self-organization is highly stimulated and supported, forming an incubator and stimulus for the development of artistic strategies and projects. This collective energy will often also end up inspiring your personal artistic practice. In the doing of these projects as a part of the program, the Work.Master also becomes an environment that generates larger productions together with our artist teachers, often in collaboration with local and international institutions, independent spaces, and individual artists and artist collectives. Recent projects include, among many, many others, making TV shows with the American Berlin-based artist Vaginal Davis, you see here on the screen, visiting the sculpture foundries of St. Gallen, leading up to the making of ceramics and a ceramics picnic together with the Geneva-based artist Maïtu Perret, making an exhibition that questions the format of exhibitions together with the Swedish choreographer Martin Spangberg, working on a documentary about what is an art school with the Scottish London-based artist Maura Keel, making a movie together with the French artist Lily Renaud de Var in Grenoble or in Marfa, Texas, creating and launching a fictive fashion brand in Lisbon together with the Dutch artist Marley Mo, which is actually myself, and creating a large-scale public exhibition for the Sculpture Garden yearly exhibition in Geneva with the artist Sonia Kachem, to name just a few of the projects we're working on. We're also actually working on a theater, an actual theater that with the artists Kalle Henkel and Max Pittegoff, that will also open in April. So the big part of the Work.Master is so-called participatory pedagogy, which I will go on to explain. Besides the collective project that we do with guest artists, as a student in the Work.Master, you're also invited to actively take part in discussions that surround the development and progress of the pedagogy that makes up your education throughout your time at HEAD. In the form of regular student meetings that are initiated by the students themselves and that are open to all Work.Master students and teachers, the goal is to create a space wherein we can express our needs and desires for our studies, proposals for projects, suggestions for changes and transformations in the program, and develop connections between the teaching staff and the students on an organizational level also. One project that has come out of this recently was setting up a magazine project, which was called Magma, which was self-run and edited by the Work.Master students. Then also at the moment we have a so-called lab zone autogéré, so a self-organized lab zone projects by the students. Also, for example, our evaluations in the winter period, this is in January, they have taken on a slightly different format that they did in the past. And this is also developed from discussions and conversations that the coordination that we have as a team with the students. So now, how do all of these activities fall into place during the school year? So basically, the Work.Master offers an open framework, but also with a lot of regularity and structure. The openness can only work in this way. So the Work.Master is built up around lab zones, as I've mentioned before, which are our practical group projects. They take place over a period of 1 to 2 years and organized by teachers and students, or as I said, by the students independently. And often they are organized by our guest artists. These are varying artists that we work with, thinkers, producers, that we work with for a period of 1 or 2 years. And so in a group like this, you get to meet this artist. The artist practice influences the project that you'll be working on. But how these projects develop, you can really decide these things together with the artist. It depends very much on their practice. So every project is and every approach is super different. Then we have our theory seminars, which are moments for critical and theoretical thinking. I'll go into this later. But we have 4 seminars organized by the Work.Master. In the first year, you will be following 2 seminars and 2 lab zones. In the second year of your master, you will be following one lab zone and one seminar. And also what is now, since this year, been quite an exciting addition to the program is that there's transversal projects that take place over the whole visual arts, the Master of Visual Arts. And so there's also one of these seminars that you get to follow, that you do in a group with Master of Visual Arts students from all different directions together. Then, of course, a big part of the Work.Master is the studio time, individual studio-based practice. I would very much say that the time you spend is parallel, doing group projects, collective projects, and the studio time. So I feel quite a lot of freedom to structure your time yourself, but we will speak later to one of our students, Sebastian, who can speak a bit about this. And then, of course, we have individual tutorials, which is the moments that you can meet with all of our tutors. You can find all of the tutors, the list of tutors, via our Work.Master website. These are individual meetings that you can schedule. You can, of course, also schedule them differently with a fellow colleague, student, or you could meet with various tutors. There's also moments for group critical sessions, which is also moments between students, but there's also Wednesday afternoon presentations which also takes on the form of a critical session, but they're more like moments to brainstorm together with tutors, with different students, to get some exercise practice in presenting your work to a group, to speaking about the work. So there's various moments where there will be so much focus on your practice. So Mondays and Tuesdays generally are devoted to the lab zone project. So these are practical days. And we currently have around 6 lab zone projects taking place in the Work.Master. So as I said already before, but I'll say it again for some clarity. So each lab zone is led by different artists. And as a student, you get to choose which lab zone group you want to participate in. So again, I have here a little list of the artists that we work with currently. We are working with the British artist Reba Mabry, American Berlin-based artist Kalle Henkel Max Pitagov, French artist Lily Renaud de Var. We are also working with Fabrice Gigi on a lab zone and with Bastien Gachy. Of course, critical and theoretical thinking feeds into artistic practice and is a very important part of the completion of the master. So Wednesdays and Thursdays are in our schedule in the Work.Master devoted to theory seminars. So taking theoretical and methodological reflection as a starting point, the Work.Master seminars are led by different teachers who can be theorists, curators, or artists, all coming from various backgrounds. We currently have approximately 5 seminars taking place that students can choose from. Seminars take on various starting points such as aesthetics, art history, post-colonialism, through the history of the exhibition Documenta with Marie-Laure Hélène Bonilla, the history of transforming with artist and researcher Clovis Maillet, or discussions around art and technology with curator and researcher from Julia Bini. Also, in the second year of the Work.Master, you will be working on a written thesis or memoir. This work is developed in discussion with our theory teachers. So you will work in close guidance with one of the theory teachers to meet on a regular basis every month, for example, to develop this written piece, which is handed in spring. So it gives you a lot of time still to work on your practical diploma in your second year. This thesis or memoir can take on various formats, and this can go way beyond the standard academic essay format, which is important. It can be a scenario, newspaper, writing as an artistic form. The writing style and format is left very open to define as they want. It's also possible to print these publications, but also these works can be handed in a digital format. So yes, there's also, besides our week schedule, there's also we also do artist talks. We have a lot of guest artists that come to meet us for presentations, and also they will pop in to do rendezvous, so individual tutorials with you also that you can sign up. So that way there's a lot of different energies coming through the program in a year. And also we have a series of workshops in the autumn. So you will follow that once a year in your 2 years of the master. This is called the Pousseage, and these are workshops of generally 3 days. And we in the Work.Master organize around 3 or 4 of them, but there's also other programs. First of all, at HEAD, the other master programs also organize similar practical workshops, but also at other various Swiss art schools that you can choose to follow these workshops at other art schools. It's also a moment to get to know other schools. And then in the spring, we have the so-called Master Symposium, which is a 3-day symposium also held in cooperation with other schools, ECAL in Lausanne and EDA in Sierre. And this is a 3-day symposium again, where you will be following these 3 days, 1 day at HEAD, 1 day at ECAL, and 1 day in Sierre. So it's another great opportunity to meet other students from other programs, other schools, visit other cities. They're important moments of exchange. And then not to forget, of course, while you're studying in the Work.Master, you'll have access to all the practical workshops that are available at HEAD. We have the fantastic wood workshop and metal workshop, prototyping workshops, audiovisual workshops, all available in our building. And there's the Cherco Ceramic Studios, which is another part of the campus, but it's like 10 minutes away. It's a fantastic place for ceramics. There's much, much, much more. Yeah, I will pass the word to Sebastian, who is one of our former students, who will speak a little bit about his experience in the Work.Master.
Hi, I am Sebastian Davila. I am an alumni of the Work.Master. I finished last summer. And I mostly do sculpture and installation and some writing. I used to paint, and now I've kind of spread out into these different fields. During the Work.Master, I kept myself quite busy. I did a lot of seminars, did a lot of workshops, lab zones, and it took a lot of meetings with teachers, tutors, artists, because I think I really enjoy the Work.Master because I think it's one of the rare moments in life where you have access to such big workshops. I was always in these workshops.
Mm-hmm.
They're very, very large and very just holistic, as in they have everything. So you can really experiment with tools and get learn these things before you actually have to go out into the world. So I'm really grateful for that. And the space you have available to work is really important. So I was also very much in my studio and I just filled that place up with experiments. And
Sebastian, how did you experience the weekly structure of the Work.Master?
I like the weekly structure because I'm already quite autonome. I'm already quite autonomous, so I like to organize my time. But these moments were welcome as moments where you can kind of come face to face with peers, especially the critique. I think it's really important to know how to be critiqued and be able to critique your peers without being scared of that. So that was really great. And yeah, I thought it was quite an easy thing for me to adapt to in terms of structure. And of course we had so much, also we had a lot of studio time, and I think it's important to know that like the Work.Master is kind of what you make it yourself. So I urge you all to, if you go into the Work.Master, make expos, make exhibitions with your peers. There's like rooms available to do exhibitions. There's room available to do publications. Like Don't wait for anybody to do it. Just like do it yourself and organize yourself with people you're probably gonna stay in contact with during the rest of your lives.
Yeah, that's interesting. Somebody mentioned that to me before. Also, it's like they made a metaphor of going to a restaurant where all the ingredients are there, but you need to go into the kitchen and cook.
Yes, exactly.
So,
Yeah, precisely. Like
but we
I
also worked
was,
together on the Magma magazine, for example.
yeah, we did Magma. We just had one idea with one friend at one moment, and just people just started jumping on the bandwagon, and we started to just meet after classes. There's no real class, but at certain moments during the week, and we got it going. And then afterwards, we actually asked for some support from financial support from the Work.Master. And after a couple of mails, we got through with it, and we published this thing that we distributed throughout the whole school and made a nice little party. So yeah, that was a great experience.
Yeah, but it was also a big discursive project, I would say, to get to the final product. And Sebastian, and could you also speak a little bit about how it is for you now out of school, after school, so to say? What have you been working on?
Yeah, so it's for me in particular, it's been pretty smooth because like kind of the last year of school, there were a bunch of different prizes and bourses, like
Grants?
yeah, grants that were proposed and sent to us by the school. So at that moment, I just got into kind of portfolio mode, and I always documented my work. I think it's very important to document one's work. And I put it in a portfolio, and I sent these out. And so as I was coming out of school, I was able to participate in collective exhibitions, in prizes. And now currently I'm on a self-initiated residency in Puerto Rico in the Caribbean. But next year I have other things coming up. So I think the school is a good kind of launching ground for the rest of your artistic life.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, then I think we will stop here. It's strange to speak to a group of people who you can't see. So as said, to everybody, if there's any questions, please do refer to the chat, and that the deadline for applying to our master programs is the 3rd of April. You can already access the application forms via the head website. And I would very much advise you can already start to fill in all of the administrational things. The website will save this material. You can add your portfolio, various documents at a later stage, but get started on it as soon as possible, so you have an overview of your application. I wish you all the best of luck, and we very much hope to meet you in the Work.Master. And thank you so much, Sebastian, for being there all the way from Puerto Rico. That's very special. All right.
It's great to be here.
Thanks.
All right. See you soon.